What makes a good business model? What makes a good franchise business model? In my opinion, a business model that has recurring revenue, a business model that has national accounts, a business model that has brand recognition. Those are what I would look for in the beginning. Now, I'm not saying a emerging franchise is not the best business model, but if you're looking to invest in a business from a semi-absentee ownership, I would look at a business that's established, that's got recurring revenue, that's got a proven business model, that may have national accounts, may work and have government contracts. Finding business models that best align with you. And also, you have to ask yourself the right questions. You have to ask yourself the right questions. Recently spoke to a gentleman. He has a great business in the financial service industry, and he makes a lot of money. And really, he didn't have any tax write-off. So our first thing is like, what's your goal? You're already making close to $1 million a year. What is your goal? Well, I want to own a business. Well, let's kind of unpack this a little bit. There's a lot more to business ownership. So I think we all have to take a look from the outside looking in and get kind of a better approach to figuring out what business models make the most sense and really figuring out what the pain points of the business are. Because owning a business is not like owning a rental property. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not set it and forget it, hire a manager and you're good to go. It's a lot more challenging than that. So I urge everyone I know everybody wants to own businesses. I know everyone wants to get away eventually from the corporate grind. I get it. Sometimes the corporate grind isn't the worst case scenario. It's a great way to build wealth and you can own businesses as investments in your portfolio. But you have to understand that these businesses take a lot of work. Do your homework. Make sure you're doing your validation calls. Make sure you're doing your projections, because you got to really figure out how hard is it. When am I going to break even? What's realistic? What do the numbers really look like? How many service calls a day do my techs need to do? When do I hire another technician and get another van, or whatever the case is in the business? So that's what we help people do. We help people find their ideal businesses, but we have discovery sessions so we can help them figure out what really makes the most sense for them, because everybody's got their own unique situation, their goals, lifestyle, family. And so that's what we help do. I believe in the triangle method: tax strategy, real estate investment, and an operating business or two. And I think that is the perfect scenario to grow your wealth. So eventually you can become 100% passive when you're ready.
How do you help someone find the right franchise model that aligns with their skills, interests, and financial goals?
I think it's challenging. It seems easy for some, but it's challenging for most, because you're taking people, and it depends too, because some people are going full time, some people want to go, they're keeping their W-2 job. Everybody has a different reason why they want to invest in a business. You never know. Some people come in with the intention like they want a food service business, and then they realize, I don't want to have 30 employees. I don't want to have to be open all these hours. I'd rather have a non-brick and mortar location. Strong marketing, a strong franchise brand that's been around, that can show you that they have other owners that run the business semi-absentee. Because a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. People will tell you that it's you're able to run this business semi-absentee. Most of these businesses require a lot of work up front that will enable you to be able to run it as a semi-absentee owner. So I think there's a lot of BS in this business, and I think once you get in and start calling other owners, we call that validation, and you say, hey, look, I want to find somebody, I want to validate with a couple people that running it semi-absentee. So I think understanding that, hey, yes, can I get to running this business 5 or 10 or 15 hours per week? Yes, but I think in the beginning, you got to have the realistic expectations that for the first 6 months, it's not going to be semi-absentee. There's no exact science. I think all the franchise consultants I work with, we constantly on calls listening about new brands and what candidates excel in that particular franchise system. But, there's so many variables that it's difficult to say. I think what I try to convey to the people that I talk to that are getting into this process is have an open mind. And the only thing we ask is you're committed to the process, not committed to, telling us, hey, I'm going to definitely invest in a franchise, but commit to the learning and the discovery. And that's all I can ask for. What we try to do is really align your goals your skill sets, and then ultimately how much effort you really want to put into this business.
What key factors should aspiring franchise owners consider when evaluating potential franchise options?
Your time commitment, your abilities, your capital, and I think those are the first three to start with. And then, is this a legacy built business that you want to leave to your family, or is this a 5 or 10 year play? What's your investment horizon for this business? Everybody's going to have a different dynamic, and then just honing in on showing these opportunities, and then for you to understand what that looks like. And so there's so many different business models. It's actually challenging to narrow down to figure out like which brands should we present to you, because there's so many. That's where we look at territories. We look at how much you can capital, if you want to work nights and weekends, or only a standard 8 to 5 type of job or business, right? Like how many hours they're open. Is it an emergency response type of business? I think that will all play into the final presentation, where we're going to show you the brands that we think are best suited for you.